Hey there, how are you doing? Welcome back to the channel. How are you doing? Before anything else, I want you to know that if you're looking for private tarot readings or embodying your inner light, accessing your next level when it comes to, just embodying your truth, know that I'm offering private sessions and inner light activation sessions on my website. So if you're looking for that, you can check out my website. The link is down in the description box. Okay? That being said, today we have a very exciting reading, very unique also in the way we will approach it. Today's all going to be about light codes from the sun, okay? And I feel straight off the bat that there may be many. That's why this video may have a part 2, heck, even maybe a part 3, because 3 piles may not be enough for that. But it's going to be different in the sense that normally when you click on a tarot reading, you have a theme, you have a question, and you let yourself gravitate towards the pile that holds the answers for that. In this case, what I feel is that it is already clear which pile will be about which light code. I don't know them just yet. I can already feel one of the light codes that will be discussed, but I don't know which pile it will be discussed. And so the thing isn't so much about like which pile will be holding your answer, but more like which light code will you benefit from. Whichever pile you end up choosing will be the light code that you now need, even though you may not know it just now. So that's why it's going to be a little different. And I'm really excited about it because I can tell that we're going to be covering some very different topics. That also means that this video is typically the kind that you can come back to, because perhaps another day you may feel drawn to another pile which will be about discussing another light code. Okay, so I'm super excited about this one. If you're interested in it, if you're excited about it as well, make yourself comfortable, make yourself at home. You already know the jazz. And now let's get to it. Okay, so today in this video at least we'll be having 3 light codes to be choosing from. The more time passes and the more I feel like this video will have a follow-up as discussed in the introduction. But yeah, I'm gonna be asking you, as per usual tarot reading, to just take a few deep breaths in and out, tune into yourself, and let your intuition draw you towards whichever pile you will benefit from hearing about, okay? Whichever light codes will benefit you the most at this moment. Knowing that if you feel drawn to more than one pile, then you understand that that's totally fine. That's totally okay. Crystal wise, I'm sorry, I don't have a sunstone. It would have been pretty much on brand, but I don't own one. We have for pile number 1, the yellow calcite, pile number 2, the citrine, pile number 3, the pyrite. So they're very much like all sun related crystals. And yeah, once you've made your choice, once you know whichever light code you want to be tuning into, you can fast forward directly to a timestamp provided down below, either in the description box, the pinned comment, likely both, or you can fast forward directly to the reading, okay? And I'm going to be seeing you there. Hey there, pile number 1. If you chose the yellow calcite, that's going to be your reading. That's going to be the light code, your light code. And so let's see what we have for you. So we're going to start by laying like all the cards on the table. Got 2 10s straight off the bat. Okay. You are lies. Yeah, a lot of light. So far, that's on brand. Yup. There we go. So, this light code is going to be about childhood dreams. Yeah, we've even got the reference to dream right here. Okay, interesting one. Childhood dreams, which feel impossible. Like, there's no point in discussing those which you're already aligned with. That's not what we're here for. We're here for the ones which are triggering. We're here for the ones which scare the crap out of you. We're here for those ones. It's like, just starting with the tarot, you're being asked to reconsider your childhood dreams in a new light, all too often, because of the society we have built, um, our childhood dreams are deemed as, you know, childhood dreams with all that it means unconsciously, which is probably irrealistic, things along the lines of not necessarily feasible, or too big, or too this, or too that. You know, it's like everyone can have a plethora of different beliefs about what a childhood dream means and entails. What you're being asked to realize, what you're being activated with, is the fact that childhood dreams are not. I mean, you can play as much as you want with a childhood dream until you realize what it is. Yes, we have because people have such a hard time as a society, as a species at this moment. We're coming out of it, but still, we're still having a hard time with aligning with ourselves. Childhood dreams are always deemed as, yeah, they're always pushed away. What you're activated with is the realization that a childhood dream exists for a reason. It's not just something delulu. It's not just like an illusion. It is not imagination. The energetic blueprint of a dream, of a childhood dream, is you peeking into your future. That means that that which you saw is unavoidable. Of course, you still have free will. That's one of the staples of this world, and this life is no exception. That means that you can, if you so desire, avoid it. You can not align with this childhood dream, but you will suffer because of it. Everyone knows that, but it's still worth mentioning again. A childhood dream is not to be taken lightly in this sense, for it is again you peeking into your future. And for as long as it is rejected and suppressed and disowned, great pain will follow. All of that which you already know, especially if you stumbled upon this video and this group specifically, these things you already know, everybody knows them. Ten of Swords indicates that if you're here on this group, it's because we're discussing about some of your childhood dreams that you have pushed away because they feel unrealistic, they feel unachievable, they feel impossible, they feel whatever. But the thing is, you're not committed to them, and that's okay. This indicates me typically that you have learned many lessons in your childhood. The road has been bumpy, the road has been rocky, there has been lots of exciting traumas, there has been a lot of exciting transgenerational trauma, there has been much darkness, much contrast experienced, and that, as heavy as it was, has led you into learning loads, learning a truckload of lessons about this world. It's, you can name it like awakening or ascension, you can name it whatever you want. The point being is like you've learned loads, and most of us are still learning, you know. But the point is, through this process, that's when all of these beliefs about the validity of our childhood dreams starts being compromised, so to speak. But when you realize that your childhood dream is not a dream, it's your future, then you realize, you understand that you cannot just willy-nilly pretend like it's not important now that you understand what it actually is. It's like an oracle looking in their bowl of crystal telling you, yeah, in a few years from now you'll be doing this. It's a snap, what's the word for that? I don't have the word, but it's like someone predicting your future. It's not like, oh, it maybe it's going to happen. It's like, no, it's written. You decided that before coming. That's why you were dreaming of it in your your early years. And you having learned all of these lessons doesn't do anything about that which you chose prior to coming here. That's why there is a lot of process each time that you feel these dreams, which of course keep on coming up. Of course they keep on, you know, rising. As much as we try to push them away, they still come back. Why? Because we're wired for that. We're not escaping this. We can't escape our destiny, so to speak. each time they come up, they trigger all that stands in the way. They trigger all of these feelings of impossibility, of it being unrealistic, it being this or that. And that is very much where the work is happening. Now you have a little background. The thing is, when you understand what is a childhood dream, that it's speaking into your future, you also understand that, yes, sure, there is no escaping it, unless you want to feel miserable. But it's also a blueprint to your ultimate success. We got two tens, 10 of Pentacles, 10 of Cups, which indicates ultimate material, financial fulfillment, as well as emotional fulfillment. You're not getting only one or the other. You're having it all. It is you aligning with what you came here to do, aligning with your intention for coming on this world. In doing so, you feel ultimate emotional fulfillment because, of course, you wired your emotional system according to your destiny. That's why you aligning with your destiny feels good, because you made sure that you would guide yourself there. And of course, it will lead you to ultimate material fulfillment, because if that's what you intended on doing, then the universe, which you are, will be supporting you. You will be supporting yourself in that endeavor. The Knight here is indicating that nothing is too big, nothing is unachievable if we are willing to put in the work to study it. And here I'm feeling most of the work is about your mindset. It's about you breaking the limitations, breaking the lies, breaking all of these things that we have learned in the past, which are not true. That's the bulk of the work which is going on right now. Setting yourself free from all of this contrast that was passed down onto you, that you were led into believing about yourself, about the world, all of which are lies, none of which is true. That's the bulk of the work. Once the mindset is right, once the mind is right and aligned, you shall see that it's a piece of cake. Another thing is, it's not to be like taken the wrong, to be misinterpreted as in you need to work hard for it, for working hard for it despite your, like, working hard for it to the extent that you start neglecting your health, neglecting the moments where your body needs to rest to the detriment of your health, basically, is not productive, nor is it aligned. That's why hard work, more often than not, is associated with resistance. But here we're being asked to reconsider what hard work is. Yes, when you are passionate about something, that you love it so much, you cannot wait to start tackling this project, and you can be in the zone, quote unquote. You can be in the flow of things for 10 hours straight, not realizing how much time has passed, because you're doing what you're meant for. That's why you stop tracking time and space. You're just in the zone. And that's very much what we're being invited here. Is like, this notion of hard work is not to be misinterpreted as in you will need to sacrifice your well-being. No, at all. Yes, there will be sacrifices. You will need to sacrifice all that stands in the way for the sake of your well-being, not the other way around, not sacrificing the well-being for God knows what at this point. And that is very much like a process, a journey, which is based of light, which is based of bliss, the frequency of it. And that's why we call it a childhood dream. That's why it keeps on coming back up in our dreams. That's why no matter how hard we try to suppress it, no matter how hard we try to push it away, it always comes back, because it is at the frequency of our light, of our bliss. It feels like what it is, which is heavens on earth for us. And that is the frequency from which we create it, from which we go forward. Another big downfall is thinking that, coming back to this idea of hard work, you need to hard work, you need to sacrifice the now so that in the future you can enjoy heavens on earth. Heavens on earth is not a destination. For if you want to reach heavens on earth, might as well kill yourself. You know, just end your life right now, you'll get there. It's not about the destination. Whole point being, heavens on earth is a state of being in the now, which is about residing in your heart. When you reside in your heart in the now, you are on heaven. You are in heavens. It's like literally, bliss is worth creating from you knowing that you're aligned with your childhood dreams is associated with you feeling like you're in heavens. It really does not matter what it becomes at the end. It does not matter what it will become. The goal does not matter anymore because you couldn't be feeling any better than right now anyways. That's when we genuinely lose interest in the goal. We completely detach from the goal, and the goal shall be and manifest as exactly what it needs to be, but we are completely detached from it because we feel good in the now. And that means, back to the Ten of Swords, purging everything that stands in the way in the now. Why can't we appreciate it in the now? Why can't we be excited about it in the now? All of these triggers, they're the swords to be pulled out. And that's the beautiful thing. It's like a lot of people nowadays have the belief, in our society especially, that if you want to feel good tomorrow, you have to sacrifice your well-being today. You have to sacrifice your happiness today. That is BS, complete BS. That is not true. And that is a big factor. If you are acting from this feeling signature of pain, of fear, of neglect, what do you think you will create? But fear, neglect, and pain. If you're creating out of light, what do you think it will manifest as? Light. So that's the thing to not fool yourself with, this idea that, yeah, you have to sacrifice today so as to enjoy tomorrow. No, that's missing the point. Again, the point of life isn't the destination, because the destination is the same for everyone. You're going 6 feet underground. It's in the journey. And really what I'm seeing is, like, do you understand what is a childhood dream? It's always that. It's like when you dream about it, as unrealistic as it may feel at first, it's your future that you're seeing. It's like maybe your mind isn't opened enough for the sake of holding it at the moment, but you won't escape it. That's why it feels so sweet. That's why it feels so abundant. And that's why it feels so exciting. Food for thought, honestly, I think. Pile number 1. Very interesting, yeah, discussion about your childhood dreams and what they are. I think the main takeaway from it is understanding that a childhood dream is not an idea. It's a real thing, a concrete thing. It's just a blueprint that, as we're kids, we're completely aware of because we have no resistance to it yet. But yeah, I just feel that it's very inspiring. Thank you so much, pal number 1, for having shared space with me today. I just feel like, yeah, again, such an interesting one. Please let me know in the comments how it went for you. Did it resonate? What's your childhood dream? You know, I'd love to know. We all have like beautiful childhood dreams. And the bigger, the most unrealistic it feels, the best, honestly. So yeah, please let me know. Also, while you're at it, please like the video and subscribe. That support me a lot. And yeah, I just can feel the energy in the room of just being like, needing to take it slow and let it sink, because a lot of information passed through. So yeah, I'm gonna move on to pile number 2, and I shall see you in another video or in another pile. So yeah, have a good time. Bye. Hey there, pile number 2, how are you doing? Welcome to the reading. If you chose the Citrine, that's gonna be your reading. That's going to be your light code, and we're going to get into it. I'm so excited because pile number 1 was a genuine light code activation, like straight up. So I'm really excited. I can taste the difference of this reading. That's just not a regular tarot reading. Very empowering cards that we have straight off the bat. beautiful cards that we have to follow up with. And I'm gonna run out of space. Gosh, yes, I don't have enough space. No. Yup. There we go, good enough. Okay. Okay, as per the first reading, we're gonna start slow because it's a lot of energy to chew and channel, not gonna lie. This light activation is a very exciting one. It's about, I just want to call it like your persona. We're talking about ego to a certain extent. It's not just that, but that's like very exciting. First of all, okay, we're gonna start with that ego. Ego has sadly a very bad reputation because ego in spiritual spheres is associated with the unconscious part of our mind, which is the one which is always trying to keep us safe, but it's just by trying to do its best, it just keeps on doing what it has been taught. And if it resides in the subconscious mind, it's likely to be cycles that we're not really fond of, which are not very aligned. That's how ego is described most of the time. And in fact, people who are quote unquote enlightened, when you enlighten the me, enlightenment, it's when the ego gets integrated. It never gets thrown out the window because you need an ego to be human. So I just want us to be clear on that. It's like there is at no point in your journey will there be no ego. It's just like how integrated it is with you. Because there's no point in not having an ego. If you didn't want an ego, you wouldn't be here with us. That seems to be relevant to speak about first, so that we can already break down a bit of resistance to allowing then ourselves to enjoy the human experience. And that's really what I'm getting, because there has been, I'm turning into a bit of backstory of people. My pal number 2, you are the kind of people who felt behind in life, who may still be feeling behind in life as of today. You look around you and you're like, oh my god, they already have this, they already have that, they're already like this, they're already like that, they have this social status, they have this possession, and I feel behind in life in comparison. And on another end, we're like, yes, but all of these things that are not important because I'm spiritual, and all of the things I'm comparing myself to, they're ego-based. That's the first trick that you gotta be careful with. You enjoying your best life, you enjoying the human experience. The human experience has nothing wrong. Your ego is playing tricks on you by believing, by pushing away your desires, by deeming them as ego-based. Careful with that, okay? That's the first activation. Be very mindful of what you call ego and what you call spiritual, because that is a spiritual trap, first and foremost. To believe that you should gravitate away from all the material things which feel good to you just because you have decided in your mind that it was not spiritual enough, and because you want to be a good person, you want to be spiritual, and so you're pushing away your desires. Careful with that. That's not serving you. Yeah, that felt right. that felt spot on for a lot of people. That being said, we're talking about, yeah, a person who is watching this video. If you're here, welcome, congratulations, you made it. Who feels behind because they do not have these possessions, and because they spent a lot of their time so far learning. There is like, it's my old souls, but part number 1 too was about old souls. It's like, you're my people who don't have like linear experiences, and you know, it's like you look around and you feel like, yeah, people in their adolescence, they have this experience, in their early 20s they have this experience, and then they go on to this, and then they have a job, and then they have the romantic part. It's like, it's very linear, da 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 da. And although you may feel that it's not what you gravitate towards, there's still a part of you that lingers, as in, oh my god, I feel like I'm behind, because some of these things I would want to experience myself. First thing that needs to be mentioned, you are not linear. Your energy field does not function linearly. You are wired for quantum leaping, for quantum jumping. You already know that, I'm hearing. And it's time to stop pretending that you don't know. What I'm seeing is very fun, but it also requires you to accept and fall in love with your story. And we're gonna start there. I'm tuning again into the story, the timeline of someone who has started off their life with a truckload of lessons to learn. Like you've been learning a lot and it just felt like you were not very proactive then in the outside world. And that's where we got tripped up. It's like, yeah, I feel like I'm falling behind, but at the same time I also do see the value of what I'm doing right now. Learning all of these lessons is what ultimately leading me to my happiness. It's what ultimately is leading me into embodying the embodiment, the state of being that I desire, which is what ends up creating these timeline jumps, which we make it very fancy. Timeline jumping, it sounds very fancy within the words of the gurus. It's like, no, it's a very natural process that everyone experiences. But when you are a being which is fundamentally experiencing life on earth in the fifth dimension, a being whose neutral is fifth dimensional, then it's even less of a fancy thing. Timeline jumping is not a luxury. That's how you function. That's how you live your life. And in fact, you will notice it. Perhaps you haven't noticed it just yet so much because it was not relevant. You will notice throughout your life how your experience that just doesn't make freaking sense. And you will see how you not only catch up with all of this quote unquote lost time, which was never lost, but you'll also realize that not like all of why did you have to experience these things? Today you feel behind, tomorrow you'll feel ahead of the curve, and the day after you'll realize that it genuinely does not matter at the end of the day. Whether you feel behind or ahead of the curve, it's just your experience. It genuinely doesn't matter. Now, we're discussing today about, I forgot what I said. It was something about like your persona, who you want to be. It feels persona, it feels ego, because as we discussed earlier, we mistook it with a spiritual trap that we tend to fall into. That no, it's ego, so I don't want to associate myself with that. That's why it appears as a persona at the end of the day, who we want to be, although it's very much us. The King of Wands, we're gonna get right into it now that we have all of these disclaimers felt necessary. That being said, now we're getting into it. The King of Wands, I'm getting you wanting to be someone who feels on top of their world, who feels on top of the world, because that's your natural state. Oh yeah, feeling this way feels a little egotistical and things like that. No, that's your natural state. That's why it appears as a persona, but it's actually your truth that you're confronting today. We're seeing someone who has extreme self-confidence, not because they're idiotic, but because they know themselves. They know. They don't understand. They know. What can you say? What kind of lie can you try to tell to someone who knows? None. Self-confidence is a state of knowing oneself. Someone of extreme self-confidence is very quiet about it because they know. And that's very much what we're here. What I'm seeing here is you, in your wildest dreams, picture yourself as someone who is extremely self-confident, someone who is extremely charismatic, very attractive. Oh, but that feels egotistical. No, that's you, sweetheart. Someone who is a born leader. And born leader can have 1,000 different meanings. It could be like literally leading people, not necessarily. Someone who leads their life, that for sure. But someone who is also a leader for some of you in the sense of inspiring. People follow you. People are inspired by who you are and how you show up in the world, and that's how you're leading people. See, it's not necessarily direct form of leadership we're discussing here, but there is this sense of leadership, of confidence, of charisma, which are all things that stem from you aligning with who you are. Moon card, beautiful, like, makes so much sense. The intuition, the inner world, the femininity. We have a very masculine card, we have a very feminine card. We're talking about someone who is very balanced, someone who has the desire to accomplish big things, especially with the Six of Wands coming out right after. There is the drive, there is the will, there is the motivation, but there's also the receptiveness, there's the softness, there is the beingness, there's the stillness, and there's the intuition. You are not the kind of person to make choices based of what the environment, based of whichever direction the winds are blowing you towards, so to speak. You're not letting the winds, you don't want the winds to direct your path. You want to be the master of it. You want to stream the direction that you're meant to be walking into directly from your source back to the knowingness. You know it. It's not you understand it. You're not doing what's logical, what's required. You're doing what you know must be done. And that's the moon. That's your intuition. That's your inner guidance. That's your sensitivity. That's your current connectedness to the whole world. Another big factor that you dream of. Six of Wands, it's the proud lion. It's the one who achieves. It's the one who wins. You're a winner. You have achievements. You have status. You have fame. To the extent of that which you genuinely desire, that is. Fame can mean 1,000 different things, yet again, just like leadership. Depending on what you genuinely desire. We're talking about fame, we're talking about recognition, we're talking about achievements. We're talking about being proud of what we have accomplished, being so proud to advertise about what our life looks like. You go to the family dinner, and hey, sweetheart, what are you becoming? 11:11 on my timer, just caught it from the corner of my eye. Beautiful confirmation. Sweetheart, what are you becoming? Oh, I've done this, I've done that, I've done that. And you notice how people around you are just start looking at you like with their jaws dropping. It's like, oh my God, how do you do that? Oh my God, you're such an impressive person. Oh my God, I dream of a life like yours. But in your case, it's not hard work, it's not difficult, it's just you following the guidance. That's the pride that we're having here. Yet again, ooh, that's egotistical. No, don't fool yourself. That's a genuine desire. We have the pride. We have also like adventure. I'm seeing at the bottom, like I'm feeling some Sagittarius kind of energy, adventurous, wanting to explore the whole world. And a chariot here, we have like someone who is very proactive about their evolution, but someone who is powerful too. That is a whole persona being described. That is the best version of yourself. When I ask you, please close your eyes and picture and visualize the best version of you, the highest version of you. What's the version of you where the human, the ego, and the higher self, the soul, merge? What's that? What does it look like for you? That's what I'm picking up here. And that is the beautiful thing. What I'm about that is like we all have this vision of ourselves, of our future selves, of our most dope self, the version of ourselves which is completely aligned with the higher self, which completely integrates it. There is no higher self and human self anymore. They're just you, that self. And here the light code is really about activating that within you, showing you the way, so to speak. With these cards, I just found interesting, we're going to talk about these ones on the right. Trust in divine details, because when we're discussing about that, a lot of people are like, oh yeah, that feels so inspiring, but I genuinely don't feel like it. It's like becoming this enlightened version of myself, which we all see within our mind's eye. We all know about, every one of us knows this version of ourselves. It's like this version of ourselves versus us, it just feels like jumping the Grand Canyon. It just feels miles away. Trust in divine detours. It's not that you're miles away, it's that you're learning a lot of things along the way. Becoming this version of yourself just right now serves no purpose. That's why you're not there just yet. And in another end, you could say that you already are it. You know, tomorrow, when you will be this person, your energy will be no different than it is today. It will be unfiltered, but the source of it will not have stopped shining the same. You shine always the same way, but we tend to filter the energy. That's why we appear differently. We're just removing the filters. We're not changing who we are. You already are this. It's just filtered. That's what I'm hearing. Trust in divine details is understanding that all of these filters, they exist today because they serve a purpose. Yeah, we get really frustrated because we're like, I would want to be this thing straight off the bat. There's no point in that. Otherwise, it would already be it. Why there's no point in that? Because of all the beautiful detours that we're taking. It's like, I'm gonna use again this metaphor, like take your favorite book, adventure book, where the hero has to go through many tribulations to discover themselves, to forge a character, a beautiful, and grow to be a beautiful, strong, whatever you want hero that goes on to like free the princess at the end of the book. There's no point in the hero. It's like the hero couldn't be freeing the princess from the big, like the hero at the beginning of the book and the hero at the end of the book are not the same. The beauty of the story is in the evolution. If we didn't like that, all our storybooks would just be about like the two last pages. It's like, yeah, we would just sell flyers and that would be our stories. Harry Potter, yeah, well, we're just selling like the two last pages of the last book. That's all, because that's all people are interested in. No, people are interested in the journey. That's where the fun happens. It's in the learning. It's in the tripping over and getting back up again and learning about ourselves, learning about the world, expanding. That's why we have the detours. That's why we're not there just yet. Also, it looks like. Because again, we're already there. We're just learning how to unfilter ourselves. But the learning how to unfilter ourselves, that's the journey. That's the interesting part. There will be plenty of time to experience life like this. That's why you dream of it. But today, there's plenty of time to experience life through all of these other myriads of selves that you have explored, because that's serving you. That's the fun of it. That's the Leo Harry Potter at the beginning of the book becoming the dope wizard that it is at the end. And there is the promise that if God, if the universe has placed this vision of yourself, has blessed you with this vision of yourself within your heart, it's not to like make fun of you, of course. If you're already capable of seeing the enlightened version of you, it's because it's a matter of time before you become that. What else do we have at the bottom? Soul on fire, sacred flow of yes. It's like you're genuinely asked to chill out for a second. It's like, is it challenging? Yes. Is it the point? Of course. You wouldn't be here if it wasn't challenging. These cards are just confirmation of what we've already discussed. Someone who is very intuitive, who dedicates, something perhaps that we haven't discussed about like all the fire energy. It's a lot of passion. You're a very passionate person deep down. And someone who loves having a good laugh. That's just you. This best version of you, yeah, that's what you're becoming. That is what you're becoming. That's what you're dreaming of it. Otherwise, you wouldn't be dreaming of it. So yeah, to wrap it up, number 2, I just feel like this code activation was about seeing your journey from above and understanding that what we may be blessed with the gift of vision, the ability to already see what's coming ahead, which is not something that everybody has. Not everyone does know what they're becoming. Everyone has a rough idea, but not everyone sees it as clearly as you do. And to not necessarily get frustrated because of that. It's like, again, if the point was only the destination, you would already be there, but you're not. That's because you wanted to experience other things. There are other lessons which are relevant and which we may realize later on why they were relevant. But the promise is that at the end of the journey, if you would get asked to do it again exactly how you happened, you would say yes 100 times over. You wouldn't change a single thing, because you'll see later why you wanted to experience all of these things. As uncomfortable as they may have felt, as far away as they appeared from who you genuinely are. Okay? Thank you so much for sharing space with me today. Part number 2, that was a dope reading, a beautiful light activation. Please let me know down in the comments how it went for you, if it resonated, if you enjoy this kind of different tastes, different energy about this reading. Because as I was mentioning in the introduction, I'm thinking about doing a follow-up, at least one follow-up video about light code activations to this one. But yeah, I'd love to know what are your thoughts about it. Also, while you're at it, please like the video and subscribe. I would love it. I would enjoy it. And yeah, wishing you all the best with the exploration, honestly. I'm gonna move on to pile number 3. I'm gonna be seeing you in my next video or in the next pile, whoever knows. And yeah, till then, have a good time. Bye. Hey there, pile number 3, how are you doing? Welcome to the reading. If that's your first pile that you're seeing, if you choose the Pyrite, that's gonna be a reading. And I'm super excited about whichever light code we will be seeing in this reading. So far, the 2 previous ones were like absolute dope, so I'm just so curious. Let's see, I have a sensation that this pile may be... Yeah, I genuinely feel that this is the one I felt before starting recording. We may be talking about money. So that's exciting. How am I gonna fit all the cards on screen? Silly me. Let's see. Snap. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna do a few at a time. Okay. So we're talking about money. I can already tell, and about learning how to handle money. Oh, we're gonna go slow because this may be a bit of a triggering one at the beginning. This feels like a really important one. Also looking like at the other cards that I'm gonna be layering down after. Yeah, today's light activation, light code is about your relationship to money, which is a very interesting one. Because just judging by the tarot cards, we're gonna start by breaking a lot of stuff down, a lot of beliefs. So that is beautiful. We're gonna start with the tarot cards, talking about that. The Devil, we got like 9 of Pentacles. That is the card of having everything you want and more. It's like, just looking at the depiction, I like the depiction of this deck. You have the cat or the bobcat, whatever it is, surrounded with gold and like its usual foods, birds, mice, you know. The cat just stands proud. Why is that? Because it has so much that it doesn't need to, you know, like jump on every prey. It's like all the food is abundantly provided, all the money is there. It knows it's there. It is abundant. That's why it stands proud. It will go for it when it needs to. Right now it doesn't need to. It's not desperate. It's not chasing. That's why it stands proud in the middle of the picture on its pedestal. That's the energy here that we're discussing. The thing we need to break is about the 3 other cards, the chasing energy, which is very beautiful. We have the Page of Pentacles here that I'm really seeing as the energy, especially through the imagery, of chasing. Like, we're trying, it's the amateur energy. Amateur not in this, amateur because we don't authentically understand what we're doing. It's more in this sense amateur, not in a pejorative sense, more in the sense of we're just doing what we know, and it just so happens that what we know is not necessarily very true, nor is it representative of the full picture. Because most of us nowadays don't know what money is, don't know about the energy of money. That's why we are always like in this mentality of I need to be in a 9 to 5 to get the money, because that's the only way I've ever been told that it was possible to receive money. Money is an energy. It's in the air. And that's where the light code appears. We're moving from the energy here. If you're here, pile 3, what I'm seeing is we are, with no like bad intention, we are just wired to chase money. We're wired to say that I need to reach it. I need to move towards it because it won't, I mean, if I don't do anything, it won't come for me. So I need to like go towards it. I need to climb. I need to figure it out. It's a genuine effort. 5 of Wands. It feels like our relationship to money is a bit of a conflictual one. You know, it's like if money was a husband or a wife, our relationship to this to our partner, called now money, isn't the prettiest one. It's a bit of a love and hate relationship where we don't really know on which foot to stand on. It's conflictual, and it's genuinely one of distrust. We don't trust money. We have been taught not to trust it, and through our past experiences, we learned ourselves not to trust it. And that's where most beautiful card, I love it so much, the devil comes in. This card, you may know me by now if you've watched a few of my videos. I just love this card because of how bad of a reputation it has and because of how freeing its medicine really is. It's just, whenever the devil just says that you are a prisoner of your own shadows, you are a prisoner of that which you're not aware of, by virtue of you keeping yourself in fear and keeping yourself chasing, you don't realize that not only are you not getting any closer, that's why it was a chase, it still is, and it will be tomorrow, but it's generally you not realizing that you are trapped in a mental construct which is entirely you're making entirely within your hands. There's no shaming, there's no guilt to be had. It's just a moment of realization. That's the light code realizing, hey, your relationship to money and how good it gets is entirely within your hands. And you are here to discover about that. There's no point in feeling ashamed or guilty that your relationship to money is not great at the moment. That's why you stumbled upon this reading. But this negative emotions toward ourselves, as in, gosh, by now I should be able, I wish my relationship was different, I should be able to something, serves no purpose. If there was no purpose in experiencing that which you're experiencing right now, guess what? You wouldn't be experiencing it. But you may be experiencing some struggles with money, or more generally, you may feel that your relationship to money is not necessarily one that feels good. Some of you are not struggling with money, but all of you wish to have a better relationship with money. Again, I want you to truly picture it. If money was your romantic partner, how would your relationship with them look like? If you're here on this reading, it's because your relationship wouldn't be feeling as good as you want it to be, which is awesome. That's why we're here to explore it. Awesome and exciting and empowering, because this is one of the things we chose to explore in this lifetime. We chose to learn about it, and if we want to learn about love, what better way to be born in a family where love was completely absent? We would get so hurt about it that we would get obsessed with reuniting with love, learning in the way everything about love. Clever, isn't it? You wanted to learn about money. What better way to start off with a crappy relationship with it? That's why you're here. That's why there's no point in feeling shame or guilt. The devil just reveals us that we're just confronting ourselves with mental structures which may be very triggering because they are associated with fear, and fear may be a tough emotion for us to be present with. So we just prefer rejecting and pushing it all down, putting it under the carpet, pretending like it doesn't exist, and just saying that that's just the way it is, and money is a bitch, and we're just going forward, but it doesn't feel good. That's why we're here. The devil is really about the realization that no, your relationship to money and how wild and beautiful it can be is completely within your hands. It's a matter of you breaking the chains. We see in this card, it's just breaking the chains. It feels bigger than us. It feels scary. But the monster under the bed feels always scarier for as long as we're not looking under the bed. Once we do and we flash the light on, we realize there's nothing. There's very much shadow work that we're talking about here. The relationship to money that we are here to experience. I'm gonna bring these cards in before I forget. It's the experience of, we're gonna start with the two felines. We have many felines on this reading. That's fun. We got the bobcat, the cat, the lion. Claim your independence and be generous of spirit. The embodiment of abundance that we're here to reach is really the state of being, not of thinking, not of doing, the state of being, which is the synonym for the embodiment of us feeling powerful and independent. Because we have such a good relationship with money, we don't need to work for someone who has a good relationship with money. Because you have such a good relationship with money, that you love money, that money loves you, you don't have to be tied and stream your abundance through someone else. That's one thing. That's a feeling of empowerment and of freedom. It's also like big heart chakra energy here, the energy of generosity. If want you to picture you have as much money as you need, what will you do with it? If you had more, if you were overflowing with money, that you couldn't even possibly think of ways to spend it all because you're receiving so much more money that you could ever think about how to spend it, how would you spend it? What would you do with it? You would quickly realize that if you're on this call, you would probably love making gifts to others, you'd love sharing it. You would love to share the abundance. If genuinely the dam of abundance was broken and it was just, and you was pouring over you, and that your cup was just overflowing over and over and over again, what will you do with this overflow? Heart chakra energy. You would be sharing it. That's the state of abundance. I have so much more than I could ever possibly imagine. What the heck am I supposed to do with it? Share it. Do you feel this state of being? That's abundance. And that's a state of being. That's the first thing. One of the first lies that we grow with is that money is a doing. You have to do in order to receive money. Makes sense within the constructs that we have done, makes sense within the 3D construct. But if you're on this call, we're not working from the third dimension, you understand that just like anything else, money is an energy. The coin or the number on your bank account is the manifestation of said energy. That's when we say you want to meet the one, you want to meet the romantic partner of your life. What is the best advice that you would always get given if that's what you're seeking? Love yourself. Like your most awesome, best, most beautiful, sexy, what you want romantic partner would treat you. Treat yourself this way. Why do we do that? Because if you are in love, if you are love, it's a matter of time before it shows up physically. Money is no different, sweetheart. We have this addiction in the third dimension to separate money and to say that money is strictly physical. Nah, just like anything else. The coin, the bill, the number on the bank account, even if it's on a screen, is just a physical manifestation of said energy. You want to manifest something different, well, you already know the jazz. Embody something different, right? And that's where we're inviting, again, like with the Swan Spirits, like diving deep, uncovering all of these limiting beliefs, because that's very much what they are. They may be firmly anchored because of the amount of fear they may be triggering. But at the end of the day, that's very much what it is. This paradigm that we're getting out of is one of fear, one of scarcity, one of lack. I want you to treat it, and you are invited to treat your relationship to money the exact same way you would treat your relationship to love. Because when we talk about relationships, people have less resistance to it because it's less scary, more often than not. It feels less, it triggers the ego less. The ego doesn't freak out as much when we're talking about attracting love. That's why we have less resistance to doing the work when it comes to love. And we understand there again that love is an energy that you create within you, and that's when it manifests. By the time it manifests, it just feels so ecstatic because you are already in love. You know? At this point, you don't even need anyone else to feel love. That's just how good it gets. Your relationship to money is no different. Because it triggers, because in the case of money, it does trigger our fears and our survival instincts, because it is related, most of us associated with their like primary needs, we are not so inclined to exploring the fear. It's exactly the same thing. That's why it's within your power. You know that love is within your hands, so is money. It's the same thing. But it requires you to get back to elemental. It requires you to go back to the drawing board, to go meet the little devil within, to go and meet all the lies that we've been carrying, the fear. And yes, that's what you will be seeing. You can feel it, how triggering it is. You can feel how it's uncomfortable to be in presence of. Yes, because it does call for fear, which is directly related to our survival instincts, according to the unconscious mind. That's why it's so intense. Again, it's the same thing. It is no different. You are working on your relationship with an energy. You already know how to handle that. That's the point of this message today, is you already know how to handle that. You just need to see it for what it is. What we see here is like abundance genuinely means freedom in this case, because that's when we really start disconnecting the survival instincts of the ego, and when the ego can just chill out and just be and just enjoy. And now you're just enjoying. You're not chasing anymore. You're not surviving anymore. You're thriving. That's where creativity comes in. As soon as the root chakra is settled, all the higher chakras start streaming energy from the earth. So the sacral chakra with all of its creativity, the solar plexus with its confidence and its joy, the love of the heart chakra, and all the energies of the higher chakras too, they start being like fed with much, much more energy. Yet again, this process is the exact same as the one that you have been doing in your love life. Your relationship to love is no different than your relationship to money. And what you are meant to do is, I am hearing, is like, we come in a world where so few people know about how to handle money. And yet again, the answer is the same way you would handle love. Intuitively, you know about love. That's your natural state. You know about abundance. That's your natural state. Follow what feels good, and you may realize that what feels good as of today, compared and matched up with the little devil, compared and matched up to, put in front of the fears, feels completely unrealistic. What feels good may feel bonkers. That's why you're being called to look within. And also realizing that what feels good to you when it comes to money will be different to anyone else. Just like, you guessed it, love. You cannot mess it up. And that's very much like the message for this light activation around your relationship with money. You can't mess it up. You were born as a being of light, love, and, you guessed it, abundance. This is your natural state. You know how to relate to abundance. So, do you want to keep on struggling through the third dimension's construct, so as to try to figure it out and push it and force it into being, and try to learn, because you understand on the 3D, you have, sweetheart, to learn about how to do it. You have to learn about investment. You have to learn about this. You have to learn about that, so as to have a better grip of control over your romantic partner. Feels terrifying. That's exactly what we're doing to money. Or do you want to take the easier route, which is much more challenging at the start because it means facing your inner demons, of the fifth dimension, where you just go back to your natural state of abundance, from which you know how it works. You know how it's meant to be. Doesn't mean that it means that you'll be completely responsible. You may realize that abundance for you genuinely inspires respect and responsibility when it comes to handling money. Yes, that's the thing about money. It loves you, but it also loves when you treat it right. That's why you see that, like all the people in the world who have so much money, they're just spending it left and right into a lot of vanity stuff. Before you know it, they've lost it all. How would you treat your romantic partner? That's the relationship with money. Yet again, the powerful lesson here, it's no different. Now go and have fun. Thank you so much, pal number 3, for being present with this powerful light code activation from the sun. That was beautifully inspiring. I needed it myself, so I'm just so happy to be here. Please let me know in the comments how it went for you. Did it resonate? Also, do you enjoy these light codes? As I was saying in the introduction, I just feel like there are other light codes wanting to come through, so I may very well do a follow-up video with other piles, other light codes to be discussed. And also, what did you think of this like different taste, different kind of energy to this reading? Since they're like channel light codes, it's not just like classic tarot readings. I would love to have your feedback on that as well. Yeah, while you're at it, please also like the video and subscribe. I would love it. And I wish you all the best. I wish you to have fun with your fears. You know what I mean. If you've been doing the deep work for quite some time, which you have been doing, if you're here, you know what I mean. Have fun meeting yourself. And yeah, I'm gonna be seeing you in my next video or in the next group if you have chosen to watch another light code. That being said, I'm gonna leave you off with this one. Bye.